All right, when we last were involved in our video, we were talking about how to locate files, because knowing where your files are located is one of the most important things when you're getting ready to do an attachment. We were locating our files through Windows Explorer, and we really should talk about how other ways that we can use Windows Explorer. And one thing that you'll find you want to do once you locate a file is maybe you want to put that on a jump drive so that you can carry it with you. Jump drives, they're called thumb drives, but it's a way for you to take a file, put it on one of these little storage devices, put that thing in your pocket, and then open it up on another computer. Currently, I have this item right here is a jump drive. If I click on the word computer, it shows me the drives that are on my computer. The C drive is almost always the hard drive. The D drive, at least on my computer, is the DVD player. USB on my computer is the jump drive or thumb drive or flash drive. It has a lot of different names, but it looks like a little rectangle piece of plastic. Removable disk in this case is a card that came out of a camera. Another drive that's currently connected to my computer is this little MP3 player, a Samsung MP3 player. So all of these drives contain files and folders, and we can take files or folders and put them on most of these drives that are represented here. So let me show you how to do that. You'll recall we can go right back to where we were by clicking on the left arrow, and it tells you we're going to go back to pictures. And down here was Sexy Daddy. I'm going to take Sexy Daddy and move him over to the USB disk. That's my jump drive. Simple enough to do that. Click and hold down, drag, drag, drag until I see USB disk highlight. And there you see the little tooltip that pops up. It says copy to USB disk. So that tells me that this picture is going to the USB disk, and we're actually getting a information window to pop up to tell me that it put a copy of this over. If I wanted to put two items at one time over there, that's easy to do too. I'm going to click once on Walter White, and then I'm going to press and hold my control key and then click on this file, Rising Critique. So now I have two items selected. I can click and hold and drag to USB disk, and I'll let go. You'll notice that I clicked on the Rising Critique. I could have just as easily clicked on Walter White because they're both selected. So that's how to move files from this location, which is pictures, and move it to USB disk. Anytime you're moving pictures or items from the computer over to a USB disk, the computer makes the assumption that you really don't want to move these off of the computer and over to a USB disk. It assumes you're wanting to put a copy of these files over on the USB disk. So you'll notice that these files are still located in pictures. Let's go over to USB disk and see if a copy showed up over there. So I'll click one time on USB disk, and sure enough, here's a file called Sexy Daddy, here's one called Walter White, and there's one called Rising Critique. And this will give me an opportunity to do something that I wanted to do just a moment ago. As I look at these icons or these symbols, it doesn't portray for me or give me a really good feel for what this file actually looks like. So we can change the way that these files are being presented to us. This is a two-part button up here. I'm going to click on the right half of this button, the drop-down arrow. Right now I'm being given the detail view, and when it says detail, it means you get the file name, you get the date it's modified, and the type, so the details about that file. So let's go up to large icons. I'll click on large icons, and now it gives me more of a larger icon of what these files look like. Alright, so we know now that these items, or copies of these items, are on my USB disk, as well as, and I'll go back, as well as my pictures folder. So there, we've moved some files. Alright, one other thing I wanted to make sure everybody understood and realized how to do is, how do you bring up Windows Explorer? I closed it out. There's a variety of ways. One way is to click on, and actually I don't see that because of the way that I am recording here today. Probably the simplest way is flag, hold down the flag button and press the letter E. And that brings up Windows Explorer. The other way that I'm not able to show you just because of how I'm recording, but if you have a computer that is Windows 7 equipped, in the lower left portion of an area that's called the taskbar, you see some a little image that looks like a little manila folder. If you click on those manila folders, then you will launch the Windows Explorer dialog box. Another way is if you right click on the start button, then you will bring up the Windows Explorer. You'll bring up a shortcut list, and one of those will be Windows Explorer. Click on that and it'll bring up Windows Explorer. But again, I'm a big fan of Windows E. All right, we're going to let that do it for a moment.